Welcome to Estero Today, produced by Engage Estero. I'm your host, Mike Wasson. Happy birthday, America! July 4th is near. When on July 4th, we celebrate the signing of our Declaration of Independence from the British King George. It's the traditional birthday celebration for the United States, and this year marks the 249th birthday. Although Florida is not one of the original 13 colonies, Estero will celebrate. People will be watching fireworks and eating brats and burgers. But to get to the real spirit of the holiday, the Estero Historical Society has an enjoyable remembrance. On Friday, July 4th, from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., you can step back in time when Jacob Winge, in full 1776 period costume, will deliver a dramatic reading of the Declaration of Independence. The decades-long traditional celebration is a cornerstone community event. This event will take place this year at the Estero Historical Society Cottage in the Estero Park and Recreation Center, which is located just off Corkscrew Road. It's a chance to celebrate Independence Day with history and fun. Besides the reading of the Declaration of Independence, there will also be fresh watermelon slices. And the Estero Fire Rescue will post a U.S. flag. A patriotic fire truck will display a huge American flag. If you haven't seen it, you'll be impressed by the size of this flag. Estero Village Mayor Joanne Ribble will lead the audience in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. And there will be fun giveaways from the generous sponsor, Edison Eye. Again, here are the details. Where? It's at the Estero Historical Society Cottage Museum in the Estero Park, just off Corkscrew Road. When? It's Friday, July the 4th. Time is 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and admission is free. Bring your family, your patriotism, and your camera. This is a morning you won't want to miss. For more information, you can visit the Estero Historical Society website. That's https://esterohistoricalsociety.com. Now, it's been 249 years since American colonists declared their independence from Britain. Florida was not a British colony, but Estero has a rich history that preceded the British. The Spanish began colonizing the Florida Peninsula at St. Augustine in 1565. That made it the first permanent European settlement in America. That was long before Jamestown and before the Mayflower, which landed at Plymouth Rock in 1620. The Spanish came to the Mound Key, near the mouth of what is today the Estero River, in 1567. They found the thriving capital of the native Calusa Indians. By the 1700s, the dwindling Calusa had fled to Key West, then Cuba, leaving the Estero area to Cuban fishermen, outlaws, and pirates. Spain's hold on Florida proved difficult after the American Revolution. There were numerous boundary disputes. In 1819, after years of negotiations, Secretary of State John Quincy Adams pulled off a diplomatic coup by signing the Florida Purchase Treaty. John Quincy Adams was the son of our second president, John Adams, and was later elected the sixth president in 1825. They are the first father and son to be elected to the presidency. The Bush family father-son combination is the only other family with that distinction. Florida was organized as a U.S. territory in 1822. and was admitted into the Union as a state in 1845. During the Civil War, the Florida Gulf Coast was known for hiding privateers who brought supplies from Europe and elsewhere to sell or supply the Confederates. It wasn't until 1882 that a German, Gustav Damkuhler, brought his young family to the banks of the Estero River to grow silkworms and raise honey. Next year, we celebrate the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. In the next 12 months, look for exciting events across the country and probably on TV. But this 4th of July, we can celebrate the 100 years of an important event here in Estero. In 1925, that's 100 years ago, this year, the Estero School building on Broadway was deeded by J. Dudley Andrews and his wife to the Lee Board of Public Instruction. It opened in 1927 at the cost of $24,120. Its principal was R.C. Maddox, and its 3 teachers were Miss Minnie Lee Wamby, Miss Lois Sanford, and Miss Mary Leitner. It had 4 rooms with 2 grades in each room. They were very proud to have an indoor bathroom. It closed in 1949 when the county schools were consolidated. This new building, deeded 100 years ago, replaced the Estero Creek School, which had opened in 1904. That building, the Estero Creek School, is now at the Estero Historical Society College Museum, where you can visit it on this July 4th to celebrate our Independence Day. Also, some late breaking news with regard to the Estero Historical Society. They just announced last week that they had raised the necessary funds to move the Alvarez Smith home to the park. This is the first phase of the project, and it will add to the 2 buildings already at the site. So I send my congratulations to the Estero Historical Society, and stay tuned for more details on this new addition as they become available. Understanding and celebrating our past is a great way to enjoy the July 4th holiday. And however you plan to celebrate July 4th, we at Engage Estero hope you enjoy it and all the freedoms of our great country. Thanks for joining us this week at Estero Today. We hope you have found the information interesting and helpful. If you would like to comment, you can email us with your comments and ideas for future podcasts. Our email address is info@esterotoday.com. Produced by Engage Estero, this is your host, Mike Wasson, wishing you a good week and hoping that you can join us next week for more news on Estero Today.